It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Happy Monday, March 30th. We are one day out from April. How are we feeling about that? 2 days, I guess. Tomorrow's March 31st and then April 1st. Happy April 1st, April Fool's Day, which is also incidentally the first night of Passover this year. So we are doing it all. This is quite a week ahead of us, you guys. We are in spring break mode over here in the bowling household, which is really fun. And my kids are off camping for a couple days with their dad, not my dad. And for that reason, we're celebrating right now. Woo, 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 woo. You guys, I have so much to talk about today. It is drama that means absolutely nothing for the greater good of America and the world, and I can't get enough of it. And I think that you guys also are going to have some of the same interest in this West and Amanda drama because it totally does not connect with like reality or anything serious, right? It's like fun, it's light, it doesn't really matter. And we need some of that because it's spring break. We need to lighten our lives up a bit. You know, we've been talking about murder and true crime and death. Now we need to lighten it up with just a simple, old-fashioned reality TV affair. But we're also going to talk about Tiger Woods and his DUI. Tiger Woods, the freaking loser. Okay, that's my feeling on Tiger. Then I just finished watching Brian Enton's Nancy Guthrie update from last night. You guys, something is up. Okay, I don't want to pussyfoot around this anymore. Am I allowed to say the word pussyfoot on YouTube? Something is up. You can't deny it anymore. And considering the fact that my little video on whatever Thursday, Friday about Annie and why she didn't call Savannah earlier has completely taken off everywhere, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, it's because a lot of people feel the same way. It's weird, okay? And when something feels weird, looks weird, sounds weird, most likely it's weird. And I would think that you would feel the same way. So let's get into it, you guys. We have so much to talk about. It's your daily dose of Donna. All right, first, before we get into it, a little admin, a little homework for my Patreon fellows. I've got a live on Patreon this afternoon. I said 5 Pacific time, but I forgot that I'm doing DMZ, which is our Instagram live at 5:30 with Zach and Molly. So we're going to do it at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Again, if you're on any tier of the Patreon, you get access to it. It's live, it's interactive, and it gets saved. So no worries if you can't make it live. Then tomorrow, I'm so excited about this, our first monthly book club / TV chat / God knows what else for Donna's group chat here on Patreon. We're covering the book On a Quiet Street by Serafina Nova Glass. It was a great read, and I'm going to announce our next month's book, which I am so excited about, and I know you guys are going to like it because it's got a little bit of everything. And speaking of, I want to remind you guys, if you do like to read, and a lot of you guys like to listen to audiobooks, and some of you guys like to read actual books or hardcover books or whatever it is, Book of the Month is something that I used to be obsessed with. I used to do it a long time ago. It's a monthly like subscription service where you get to pick a book. And you know, you can pause it, you can hold your credits depending on the books if you don't like the books, but you get a lot of access to really great books before they hit the stores. And that is really great for any readers out there. So I do want to let you guys know that they're running a special right now, and the link is below in my show notes, where you can get a brand new, gorgeous hardcover book for 100 cents. 100 cents. That's $1. So make sure to click that link, that specific link, because then that comes back to me. So make sure to do that. Book of the month, and I will put it in my stories in a little bit. Don't you worry. I am really excited my upcoming April books. I just ordered 2 of them. Now to this important thing. I just have to text my family back because both my boys are like, we have service. Hi, I'm recording my show. I love you. They're going up a mountain soon. And so they're in like a small little town right now. And they're both texting me. And that's so cute. And I didn't want to ignore them. My little boys, my sweet little boys. See, it's so nice to get a little bit of a break as a mom from your kids because yes, Christina, click the link here, but it's a long link. So just make sure to go into the show notes and then you'll be able to click the link. It's so funny because with being a mom, and a lot of you guys are moms and dads, it is such an all-consuming job. It's so hard. It's so stressful. Like the amount of time I went out on Saturday night with a couple, and the mom and I talked the whole night about just like the challenges of raising kids and how it is right now. They're teens. Like Dylan is a teen. He's 13 and a half years old. So like when I tell you, I am in the throes of it for about a year and maybe more. And there's great days and then there's bad days. And then there's great days and there's bad days. It's just a lot of work. And I just think I love them so much and I'm so happy to get a break. Okay. So I'm going to be in a really good mood these next 2 days. And then do you ever feel this way also before I get into like the stories? One last thing. Do you ever feel pressure when you actually have a break from being a mom or like when everyone leaves your house and you're home alone? Do you ever actually feel pressure like I need to do it all in 48 hours, everything? I need to organize the pantry. I need to reorganize this. I need to change this. I need to clean this. I need to relax. I need to watch TV. I need to read books. I need to do everything that I would never be able to do ever again in my life. And then all of a sudden they're home and you're like, I didn't do shit with my time off. So Lance this morning when he left, he was like, I love you. Enjoy yourself. And I'm like, I will. I'll try. But I feel like I'm going to I already feel like I'm out of time. Like it's over already. They left 2 hours ago. It's already over. 48 hours. Okay. So one of my best friends just texted me a picture of a podcast and she goes, please tell me you know about this story. And this actually reminds me, I want to talk to you guys about Love Trapped. Have you been listening to Love Trapped? Love Trapped is a podcast about Bachelor Clayton Echard. And I spoke about it briefly when I had Reality Steve on my show because he's a big part of it. Actually, our girl Lauren Knighty is a big part of it. Lauren from Court of Random Opinion. And so is Dave Neal. And I have known about the story peripherally just because I'm friends with some of the people covering it, right? But I didn't know the details of this story. So it's called Love Trapped. It's performing really well. I think there's 6 episodes or 5 episodes, and I caught up over the weekend. It is basically the wildest story ever. It mixes like a version of, it's basically betrayal slash Tinder swindler slash like, I don't even know. It's true crime-ish. So basically this woman, Laura Owens, met former Bachelor Clayton. He's the one that likes to dance, as like doing a real estate deal for a business reason. Like they met through LinkedIn. And she claimed that she had never seen The Bachelor and she had no idea who he is. They start to hook up a little bit, like just once. Like it's a business relationship and then it becomes like a hookup. And they don't have sex, like penetratable sex, whatever that is. They have oral sex. Sorry, close your ears. This is not a family show. And 2 weeks later, she says she's pregnant. And he's like, wait, what? And then he freaked out because he's like, listen, she gave me, you know what, down there, and then went to the bathroom. Did she do something with my, you know what, to become pregnant? Well, now episodes in, you start to find out that this is a pattern of this woman's, and she's done this before to multiple others, at least one. So we get a story of one person, but there's so many twists and turns, you guys. She takes fake personalities and turns into like different people on Reddit and like creates. It is truly the craziest thing. It's the biggest nightmare, and I would imagine if a man listens to this, you're never gonna wanna hook up with anyone else again. There are women out there that really truly entrap men this way. So I'm not gonna tell you exactly what's going on, what happens with it, because, I mean, number 1, it's not even over yet. So it's called Billy's asking, sorry, what's it called? It's called Love Trapped. It's a podcast, only podcast, no YouTube. And it's really, really fascinating. Like, you can binge it. It's really good. Okay. Enrique, I don't even know how to take this information. I don't even know if I can read it out loud. I read online that Drake puts ketchup or spicy on his fluids when he is intimate with women. After this, I'm starting to believe it. I'm sorry, how? Like, how do you do, like, immediately? Like, you immediately contaminate? You can't do it before it comes out of you. Very confused by this. Okay. Please listen to that. We can talk about that again on Donna's group chat. We'll get deep into Love Trapped. I have a whole list of things I want to talk about, including a movie I just watched and then different shows. Okay. We'll talk about it all. Let's get into this Amanda and West story that has taken over my feed today before we talk about a little bit more stuff. When I tell you, number 1, the Bravo creators, bless their hearts, because I love so many of them, are incredibly essentially they're making this as Scandival like as possible. So if you used to watch if you used to watch Bravo, or even didn't watch Bravo, if you were just alive, you remember that in 2023, was it 3 or 4 now? I can't remember. I think it was 3. Scandival happened. And Scandival was essentially this huge scandal in the Bravo world, but it spilled out to the world. It spilled out to CNN. It was like on New York Times. Like, everyone was talking about it. People that had never watched a Bravo show were covering Scandival. And the reason why it was so scandalous is because it was a relatable story to a lot of people. It was a woman who was in a long-term relationship with a man. They lived together. They bought a house together. They basically were life partners without being married. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, he's cheating on her with one of her best friends. Then it all kind of comes out in this crazy dramatic find out, way where a text was seen and video was seen, everything got around, and it was all pretty much documented as much as possible. It was so, like, in real time. Well, the story of Amanda and West it's hitting similar points of it, but it isn't the same for a few reasons. And maybe it is the same, but we don't know if it's the same yet. Tanya says Sandoval is how I found Donna. Oh, thanks, Tom Sandoval. Who knew Tom Sandoval helped me that way? Yeah, Lynn says we all felt betrayed by Tom. A lot of people really related with Ariana, who was the woman who was cheated on. A lot of people related to Raquel, who was the other woman. And a lot of people probably related to Tom, who was in a relationship and then cheated on someone. Like, it was so connected. Now, Ariana, if you guys know, has gone on to create a massive, amazing, wonderful life for herself since this breakup. She then started hosting Love Island. She gets all of these brand deals. She has a new boyfriend. She's doing something else, like a reunion. Does she do the reunion of Love Island? I don't know. The girl's life became astronomically better after Scandival happened to her. Now, meanwhile, Raquel, I don't know if you guys have seen what was going on with Raquel Leviss, but Raquel Leviss, who's now Rachel Leviss, has completely left the building, right? She left LA, she got sober, and she became a sound bath healer. So I don't know if you guys have been watching that. It comes up every once in a while. It comes up on my feed. Like, you start to watch like your algorithm, and then it just starts feeding you stuff that it thinks that you're going to be into. Let me see if I can just find a recent video. So yes, she goes by Rachel Leviss, and she is a sound bath healer. Whoops, sorry. She's a sound bath healer. Share screen. Here we go. wellness event coordinator, sound bowl practitioner. I mean, she looks cute. She looks happy. Here she is talking about her 3 bowls.
Bowls that I would recommend starting with. First is a C note bowl. C note is very grounding.
I feel grounded, actually. So everyone's kind of like gone off and done their own thing, right? Tom Sandoval, I don't know if he's better off. Back to Amanda and West. So I have always explained to you guys that Summer House is one of those shows I can't quit. I just can't quit Summer House. I love it. There's so many Real Housewives that I've given up on. There's so many different, like, I tried to really get into Southern Hospitality this weekend. I watched a couple episodes. I'll watch it in the background while I'm doing a puzzle or something. I'm just not into it. Southern Charm is like a hit and miss. Summer House is it. Okay. I live vicariously in that Hamptons house. Now, I'm going to try to explain to you the flow chart like that girl Abby does. You know, that girl Abby does a flow chart about about all these shows. I wonder actually if she's done one about this, because this would be a great experience for me to show you how all of these people are connected. For anyone that doesn't watch Summer House and has no idea who anyone is here, I know that she has definitely, I don't know if she's done one about the Summer House drama. Okay, well, she should. So basically, this is what's going on. We have Kyle and Amanda. Kyle Cook and Amanda Batula have been together since season 1 of Summer House. Season 1, she's introduced into the house as like a hookup. He's definitely cheating on her openly. He's hooking up with other girls. You see it. You watch him like kiss other girls. It is clearly they don't have a relationship that is incredibly strong. And I would show you an entire, like, I kind of want to show you an entire clip, but I don't also want to get in trouble by Bravo because they will grab me. But I feel like Kyle and Amanda have always had a tumultuous relationship. Sometimes when I think about Kyle and Amanda's relationship, I'm immediately reminded of like that really toxic relationship that you're in and you know he's the wrong guy for you. And yet you still stay with him because you have, it's almost like a Taylor and Dakota situation minus the abuse. But it feels, although, you know, some of you guys are saying there is some like different kinds of abuse. They were very attracted to each other very early on, but within the first year of dating, he was openly cheating on her. Then the second season or third season, and now I can't even remember, before they even got engaged, he had to tell her that he was cheating on her again. And then before the wedding, he finds out rumors that he's cheating on her again. Now, more than that, she continues to stay with this guy. And so I actually have some thoughts about that. When you are in a relationship with a man, or you could be a man in a relationship with a woman who continues to treat you badly and continues to disrespect you, my question for you is, at what point does it become less of, oh my God, he's the worst, and also maybe, well, you're part of the problem too, because you are giving him the ability or the validation that he can treat you however he wants, do whatever he wants, just to get back in bed with you at night. Now, here's another take on this whole relationship too. A few summers ago, I want to say they had just been married or before. It kind of all melds together. It may be time for a whole Summer House rewatch for any of us out there. That basically, she says, I want to be a mom. And I want to move to the suburbs. I want to get out of the city and I want to move to the suburbs. I want a home with a yard and the dogs and a family. And this is a big issue for him because Kyle's a partier. He is like a social butterfly. He doesn't want to stay home and just be at home with the yard and the family or whatever. And so he slowly would deny her of that desire to the point where she then said, I don't even know if that's what I want anymore. She then went through a whole station of depression. She went through a complete like lack of ability to enjoy her life for a strong amount of time. She had major anxiety. And then we know that she is what he deems not fun, that she's not fun, and that he is, he wants to be out and partying until 3, 4 in the morning. She says, I don't like how much you drink. He's like, I don't like how much you smoke pot, right? So she also is smoking pot every night. And apparently she's lazy, according to Kyle, who's like a doer. Yeah, he's a partier, but he gets up early. He works out every day. He works his ass off for Loverboy, allegedly. Da, 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 da. He gave her a lot of shit about not doing anything for herself or like bringing in money or working hard, even though she was marketing for him. You guys, everything about this relationship was unhealthy. Everything. And for years and years and years, the girls in Amanda's life, including Ciara, who we'll talk about in just a moment, and Paige, have always given her a lot of like pep talks. Like, you don't need to be in this wet marriage. You don't need to be in this relationship. Life will go on without Kyle. He is bringing you down. And she kept listening. And it's one of those things like you can tell someone to do something until you're blue in the face, but until they decide that they want to break up or they want to get sober or they want to get, move or get the job or whatever it is, lose the weight, it's not going to happen. It has to come from within you. So the question is, why, after so many years of just absolute garbage that she was being served by him, and also, by the way, that he was being served by her, she wasn't sleeping with him, according to Kyle, and I'm assuming it's pretty true. I can just tell. This girl she has such an ick for Kyle. She doesn't want to touch him. She doesn't want to cuddle with him. She doesn't want to love on him. She's not nice to him. Okay. And if you guys think she's nice to Kyle, then I don't know what you're saying. She's not nice to him. She's not sweet with him. She's not kind with him. And he's not very loving to her either, you guys. Through and through, it's a bad wedding, a bad relationship through and through. Okay. So now, now you have to wonder why, after so many years of being in a really, really toxic, bad marriage, does she finally decide to pull the trigger and say, I want out? Enter Wes Wilson. Now, I've always thought this. I think, let's bring it to another Kyle. Let's talk about Kyle Richards and Mauricio. Kyle Richards was married, quote, happily to Mauricio for how many years? 20-some years. And I think she really, really loved Mauricio. But Mauricio did not give Kyle what she needed in that relationship. He didn't emotionally fulfill Kyle, according to our Allison Dubois, season 1, e-cigarette psychic. But also, we could see that as she was getting older and going through challenging things, for example, her best friend dying, etc., he wasn't there for her. But she was willing to overlook that. And she was willing to overlook his apparent affairs. Mauricio had a lot of cheating rumors going around about him. She was willing to overlook all of it, about the fact that he didn't get along really well with her sister and her sister's husband, until she met Morgan Wade. Then when she met someone that she actually felt like herself around, that she felt like loved and heard and seen and all of these things, only then was she able to say, I don't need to stay in a relationship that doesn't fill my love tank. Shout out, Vicky. Now I feel safe enough to walk away from this marriage because I see the potential of feeling real love over here. Like, you don't step out of a canoe until you're firmly in another canoe. I learned that quote from when I was casting Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. That's not a joke. I'll never forget it. I think Dylan said it. You don't step out of a canoe until you step in another canoe. Cody. So I guess Zach said it. So the point is that I believe Amanda finally started to develop feelings for Wes. I wouldn't have thought any of this to be true, but we have many pieces of evidence that are leading everyone to believe that Amanda and her housemate, roommate, friend, and also Kyle, her husband's friend, and also her bestie, Ciara's ex-boyfriend, West Wilson, are probably hooking up. And like I said at the beginning, I was like, oh, it's a stupid rumor. Until where there's smoke, there's fire. And usually when there's smoke, there's fire. And when it comes to these kinds of things, and you're not getting any outright denials of it, you know that there's something going on there. So I'm going to present to you a couple pieces of evidence about this relationship apparently actually happening, which is if you don't watch this show, you're going to be like, what the hell? But it's just, again, it's so relatable, right? It's that affair. It's like liking someone before your best friend's ex or your husband's friend or your roommate or whatever. So Page Six released an article that said every clue that has fans convinced that they are hooking up. So let's go through it together. Every clue. Let me make sure that ad goes away. I mean, geez, Page Six clearly needs money with all their ads. Okay, here we go. Rumors are swirling that Amanda and West have been secretly hooking up because speculation began in early March when sources told DeuxMoi that they had seen the co-stars getting flirty around New York City. Page Six exclusively reported that the rumors have now fractured Batula's friendship with her co-star Ciara Miller, who previously dated Wilson. That's Gabby. That is, I don't know if Page Six is doing this intentionally, or they literally don't know that that's not Ciara in the picture. That is just another Black woman. How weird is that? Because Ciara is, well, that's ridiculous. I don't know why it looks like that. But Ciara, oh my God, why can't they like do normal pictures here on Page Six? Page Six needs to fix up their website here. So here are some of the clues. And just in case you want kind of like a visual of who everyone is, we've got Amanda and Jesse Solomon, the cheesiest freaking cheese ball in the entire world ever, next to Wes. She's friends with both of them. Okay, the flirty New York City sighting. It says on March 5th, so now we're on March 30th, DeuxMoi reported that Batula and Wilson, that's Amanda and Wes, were spotted being openly flirty, allegedly even holding hands under the table at an event in New York City. Okay? Under the table. You know it's bad if you're holding hands under a table. Fans on social media immediately called out how unfair the pairing would be to Miller, Ciara, who has supported Amanda through her separation from her estranged husband, Kyle. They said, I don't think Amanda would ever do that to Ciara. At least I hope not. Because one thing about these people, one thing about Amanda and about all of these girls is they all tend to be incredibly girls, right? One thing about Paige, and like, you know, I have had my ups and downs with Paige, but one thing about Paige is that she will, you know, kill a guy if he messes with her girlfriends. She's as girly girl as possible. And now Amanda has always been in a marriage. So we don't actually know what the real situation is there, but she has, like, we don't know how she is in these kinds of dating situations, but we've always seen her be very close with the girls, very supportive of the girls. She even takes some of the girls' sides over her own husband when her husband fights with those girls, which is actually strangely a lot. Kyle fights with the girls a lot. It's like, it's a little strange. Now, this is, again, one of the worst edits of a picture ever, but here's Ciara and Amanda. So, and I want to say really quickly that Ciara, my feelings about what I'm watching this season on Summer House is that Ciara is still in love with Wes. This is, of course, last summer. But Ciara seems to be still very much in love with West. And West is into Ciara too. He's not fully into her, but when he's drunk, he'll get like really touchy and feely with her. He talks about how hot she is. And they dated a season or two ago, and they were together for like a solid amount of time. So actually, this is all very, very, very weird because while they were filming the season 10 where Ciara is still obviously feeling things for West, etc., I'm going to show you some footage that my girl Face Reality posted out that is from this current season that we're watching of Summer House that maybe we haven't picked up on, of a West and Amanda little connection. I'll show you guys in a second. So on March 24th, so a week ago, he was on Watch What Happens Live, and he was asked to directly address the speculation of their fling, which he didn't outright deny. And actually, let me see if I can quickly find that little clip. I don't really no, I don't want to mess with it because they're going to, if they copyright it. But he basically says she's single now. Someone said, like, what do you ship Amanda and West as a couple? And he says, well, listen, I get it that there's like rumors, but she's single now and it's happened with other people that she's hung out with, meaning rumors are always about anyone that she hangs out with. We're just hanging out in New York. She's single. I kind of got to show her the streets, you know? So he didn't say during that conversation, he didn't say, I'm not messing around with Amanda. She's my girl. I adore her, but we're definitely not hooking up. She would never do that to Ciara. I would never do that to Kyle. Like, he didn't say anything to actually confirm that the answer is no, which, guys, in this world, you have to issue a denial about certain rumors if you don't want it to come out. He says, if it's not clear, that's a very important person to me and I care about her a lot. He called her a friend. After West Wilson's remarks aired, an Instagram user theorized West is a safe boy bestie for Amanda because they'd never date. He's so much fun. He cares about his friends and they have mutual friends to hang out with all the time. Amanda responded, thank you. So she didn't say exactly, yes, that's true. Like, I would never date West. She hasn't said anything like that. She just said, thank you. Now, let's move on to the Ciara and Amanda friendship issue, which I covered last week. That basically, but Amanda and Ciara were besties this last season because Paige wasn't in the house. So Amanda and Ciara were together all the time and they always champion each other and they always like each other's posts, which is a big tell about relationships. And they always show support. They stopped liking each other's posts. That is telling. They've also unliked each other's social media posts. And they were supposed to film a joint Amazon Live presentation for Ollie Vitamins on March 24th. And Ollie even put it out as a press release. And they didn't. They didn't do it on the same day. She did it one day and then Amanda did it another day. Ciara's not addressing any of the rumors, but she's hinted at how she's feeling through her social media activity. She likes a lot of cryptic posts, apparently. Quotes about, she liked a Jay Shetty quote about finding closure from a hurtful situation. The quote said, if you're looking for closure, let me tell you this. The lack of the respect was the closure. The lack of the apology was the closure. The lack of care, accountability, and honesty, that was the closure. Now, there is actually more about this because here, Two Judgy Girls, which is a Bravo content creator account, they're two girls, they put it on Threads the other day and they said, okay, but the funniest thing about this rumor, this was on Friday, the funniest thing about this rumor is how much we care about Ciara's well-being, but none for Kyle. Because remember, he was married to Amanda and West is his friend. Like, no one cares about that. People are so concerned about Ciara. And it says, I don't think I've seen a single comment wondering about how he feels. And he actually commented on it with a hand up and a like a tear. That to me is 1000% a sign of, I agree with you. I'm here too. That's not a denial of anything. And then last night, we had some social media activity from Hub House. You know, I love me some Hub House and Austin. So the first one was, you know what I'll just do? I'll go over to Lindsay because it's probably still on her Instagram. On Lindsay's Instagram, and I freaking love Lindsay. You guys, I've always liked Lindsay, even when she was the most hateable person on Bravo. I still loved her So I stand for her. 21 hours ago, she posts a picture of her and Ciara. Whether or not this is a current picture or an old picture, it is you do not ever post something like this in this moment unless you're posting it because you want to say it's your message. It's a message. Okay. If you are posting this, you want the world to know I'm standing with my girl, Ciara. And remember, these rumors have been going on since the beginning of March. They have time now to deny any of it. Then she posted her next one was this face, which was like, the fuck are you doing? Guys, it's a message to show Amanda that she's not down. And then Kroll, Austin Kroll, I just searched him yesterday or this. I don't know. I don't know if the story will still be live. He's in New York. He was doing some stuff in New York and he posted, oh, good. It's still here. He posted this 19 hours ago. He said, it's like a picture of him at dinner at just the table. And it says pasta and F your friends' exes are apparently so back. What's up with the pasta comment? Obviously he's eating pasta, but do you think that he's trying to say in this moment, we're, do you think he's like talking about some drugs? Do you think he's saying that like Amanda and West are getting high and hooking up? Okay. Then even Carl got involved because he posted something on his stories of him making this like face. All of them are posting these kinds of things. But Face Reality 16, who always likes to call Kyle out, and she's been doing this from the very beginning. She actually, one of the reasons that I started following Eliza here is because she was one of the first to do like the deep dive on the Morgan Kyle relationship when they were not coming out publicly as a relationship. And she was posting all kinds of stuff about it. And now she's kind of getting into the Amanda and West of it all. So first she started by showing this. And it says, what the hell? It says in November 2025, I can't be like Zach Peter earlier this morning where he didn't share his story. I have to show you guys. I have to make sure I'm showing the story. So like if you were watching Zach's show earlier, you have to click on the screen that you want to share. And he was talking for like a solid 45 minutes, I feel like, and not showing what he was actually sharing. It was ridiculous. It was so funny. So I have to make sure that I'm actually sharing it. And I'm like scared now. I'm so scared to mess up because we were screaming at him in the chat, like, Zach, we can't see what you're talking about. It was so funny. So this picture, it says, I'll make it a little bit bigger. It says in November 2025, West is wearing this random sweater. And then in March 2026, she's wearing the sweater. Okay. Which that's a little strange. Now, someone says in the comments, I feel like the fact that neither are speaking on it, not even to play into it as a joke, speaks volumes. Because if you guys remember a long time ago when Jesse Solomon, everyone was like, does Jesse Solomon like Amanda? Because he was posting all this shit on her Instagram in the comments. They kept playing into it as a joke. They'd made fun of it. And so that to me is very telling. Here's another. Amanda wearing West's hat in the first episode of this year's season. April 2025, that was the hat that West was wearing on some sort of Instagram or whatever. And then on the right is Amanda actually wearing his hat in the first episode of the season. Now, what I think is so interesting is, if you guys remember, the first sign, yes, exactly, Teresa. The first sign that we got from Scandival was the lightning. Raquel and Tom, that was like their sign. That was their signal, was wearing each other's things or the same thing. It's kind of fascinating. So yeah, this was April 30th when he did a thing for virtual reality. And this is when she posted something for something else. And then, yeah, that's her in the hat. And then, of course, Carl making his face like, what the hell? Then we end up having this. And this I just looked at this morning. It says things that make you go, Summer House season 10. That's our current season that we're on right now. She says, this is part 1. I just needed these first few findings on the main feed, but they're also in my Amanda and West highlight. We'll definitely be adding to this. She says, you know, I'm doing this. I'm rewatching the season to see what we're finding out, like what we're seeing. Okay. So the first dinner on this season of Summer House, there's Kyle, her husband, then there's West, and then there's Amanda and Ciara. I mean, this foursome, right? And West has his arm around her chair. Okay. Not that big of a deal, but it's definitely like closeness. Then there's a picture of the two of them kind of just talking over rosé or whatever in the kitchen. And there's like a good, lovey energy. Verse, when Kyle comes in and Amanda looks at him like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Who asked for you to come and join us in this conversation? When the table was asked who's single, and Wes put Amanda's hand up for her. They said, who's single here? And Wes lifted up Amanda's hand. This is a scene when Wes is checking in with Kyle about how often they're effing. Let's see if we can listen to it.
I shouldn't say this, but like after like the last 2 years, she smokes weed every night. And she's like, what, passes out? Yeah. When do you... Good question.
Okay. And this is his, sorry. And this is his reaction. A nice smile. When do you F? Good question. Big smile.
Why?
This is when they were doing the blind date or like the singles meetup party in the city. And Amanda was grilling West about a girl that he used to hook up with. And Eliza says here, they are always so close that they are touching even when there's plenty of room where they are sitting.
I'm in the perfect relationship with the love of my life, and there's no issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you having fun?
Yeah, I'm good.
Wait, who's that girl? Did you bring her here?
Yeah.
Who is she?
Her name's Dara.
Okay.
We flinged.
What do you mean you flinged?
Yeah, hooked up like a little bit years ago. But like way before I met any of you.
Okay, I don't want to play too much of it, but if you can see, there's like clearly some energy there. It's like she was like, yep, I'm in the most perfect relationship ever and there's no issues whatsoever. And not only is he sitting next to her, but he puts his head on her chest or like on her shoulder or chest. He starts breastfeeding. This is just the fact that they're sitting so close to each other that they're actually touching. Which, by the way, you guys, like, it is a little strange for a married woman with a hot, like, single straight man. I don't think I would ever sit like this with a single straight man if I were a married woman. Like, I just can't imagine it. Can you guys? I mean, this is a little strange, right? It's strange. It's body language. They're always touching. Look at them sitting next to each other. This was a moment where Wes called Kyle. He said, your boyfriend about Kyle. And then this is a moment where she's just walking out of her room. And Eliza said, please pay attention to Amanda's hand at the end. I'm going to play it again for you. What she does is she's kind of covering her face and she's like walking by and he puts his hand on her and then as she's walking by, her arm kind of like keeps holding on to his arm. You guys, I know vibes. If they aren't hooking up yet in this moment, in this summer, they have major crushes on each other. Okay. And you cannot convince me otherwise. I don't know if it's because I've watched enough TV or if because I've seen real life. I've experienced real life, and I know how I act when I'm crushing on someone, and I know how a man is acting when they're crushing on me. And this is 1000% either full on effing or I have a major crush on you and I want to be with you. And someone said, Patty said, it's concerning behavior if they aren't. Exactly. Because if you are a married woman, like if Kyle was acting like this with any of the other girls, I would say the same thing. It's freaking weird. It is weird. It's not the way you act as a married person. Okay, so that is her part 1. I don't think she has a part 2 yet, but we're going to definitely continue to watch this. And I think oh gosh, yeah, that's interesting. Oh, I'll get into that another time. Hopefully she comes out with a second one. But go and follow Face Reality if you guys are interested in her deep dives. So I will say the reason why I know what's happening or something's happening, whether it's for the new they are filming a new reality show, or they were a few months ago, about the city. And it's a spinoff about Amanda and Kyle getting, living in the city. And then also Lindsay's in it. And clearly now it's going to be about the separation. And so maybe this is part of it. But would Amanda really risk in her reputation? Would she really risk having the world think that she's the Tom Sandoval for a TV show? Like, I don't think that that's the case. And I think the reason why no one gives a crap about Kyle and his situation, Marna nails it here, is that Kyle is a married person and he's a cheater. So no one really has sympathy for Kyle going through this, because it's like, dude, you are the reason she's probably been so unhappy for all of these years. Whereas Ciara, poor thing. And look, Wes wasn't her boyfriend now, but was in the past. So it's kind of effed. All right, you guys. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I love that gossip. I am into it and I want all of it. Okay. Oh, okay. This is interesting. I didn't read the whole comment yet, but I see Ariel Live says, this is tough. I'm very close with my straight male best friend. We are both married. I think at some point it's a comfort level with friends. Depends on how the dynamic is in this friends group. It depends on a little bit. So I have really good guy friends. I have 2 really good guy friends. Both are straight. Both are married. And both I've hooked up with when I was a teen, like high school, college, right? One of them I was just at dinner with on Saturday night with Lance and with his wife. And so what's really interesting is, with Lance knowing my history with him, like even though it was just high school, it would be so freaking off-putting for Lance if I was ever sitting on the couch alone with him touching him. And by the way, I would feel so uncomfortable about that with his wife. And this is a guy I've known since I was 16. Like, we live 5 minutes away from each other. We're very friendly. We text all the time. If you're touching arm to arm, his wife would be weird and Lance would be weird. It's weird. I think it's weird. Okay. Let's move on to some of the other stories in the news, because there's a bunch of other little things. First of all, I'm going to touch on Tiger Woods. I'm not going to give it a lot of time because I think he's a freaking idiot. And look, I am not a golf girl, shocker, but I can't stand idiots. And when you have someone that gets a DUI and rolls over his car and then does it again multiple years later, you can't. I don't care how rich you are. You're an idiot. He's a cheater. He's clearly has some sort of addiction, or whether it's alcohol or whatever, even though he blew a 0, he doesn't have his shit together. And also, in order to drive so that your car goes upside down, you have to be beating. I have never, knock on wood, gotten into a situation where my car rolled over. But all I know is the cars that roll over are not going slowly. You have to be going at such, it is a Range Rover. It's not like a little freaking dinky dink car. It is a heavy Range Rover. So Tiger Woods rolls over his car at 2 p.m. on a Friday. He blows a 0%, so he's not drunk, but he doesn't want to pee. And the reason they're saying is most likely he has some sort of performance enhancing pills or whatever in him. Now, if you remember, he's the one that had that famous affair and cheated on his beautiful wife. What was her name again? Ellen or something, with so many different other women. And now he's with Don Jr.'s ex-wife, Vanessa. It's Vanessa, right? Trump. And he's out there at 2 p.m. doing something and rolling over a car. I mean, what an idiot. I have zero patience or tolerance for these idiots. Why doesn't he get a driver? Well, according to page 6, it says that he won't because of privacy concerns. Yes, because Tiger Woods is Secret Service like needed. I mean, presidents have drivers. The Kardashians have drivers. Celebrity superstars. Taylor Swift has a driver, but Tiger Woods has security concerns. Who the hell cares about security, about what he's saying? And get one of those cars that have the windows, right? Can't you do that? Buy a car so you know that you're not getting tapped or whatever, and put a driver in there. So insane. It says the athlete doesn't want anyone to watch over him or know what he's doing. Yeah, because you're doing something bad. Also, he thinks he's fine to drive. Does this look fine to drive? I mean, what? Fine to drive my ass. This is a little tiny neighborhood street. He was charged with driving under the influence after a rollover car crash. And he was released. He has a mugshot. He looks like shit. And like, I'm done. You have everything in your life. You're a protege. And like, I understand. I do recognize that Tiger was raised in a really, really bad situation. I know that his dad was like severely intense, aggressive, abusive, maybe. I don't even remember. It's not an excuse. You can't keep giving people passes. And a lot of dosers sent me DMs on Friday when I posted about it saying, I live right here. Like, this is crazy that he drove so fast on that street. And he could have gotten kids killed, like so many other things. Just awful. Okay. Let's get into another story. Nancy Guthrie. Brian Enton is back in Arizona. And the only reason I'm thinking he's back in Arizona is because of that Savannah Guthrie 3, 4 day, 7 day, 5 day marathon Dateline Good Morning America or Today Show interview, where we basically got zero from it. And actually, shout out to who sent me this X post. They tagged Zach and I. And it's actually a really, really interesting clip from the interview room, which is another, I'm going to, well, who tagged me first? Meadow Everly tagged me and Zach. So thank you guys so much for listening. And then you can follow, of course, on X. But just know that if you follow on X, you're going to get some crazy. I am like not quiet on X. I lose my shit. Okay. You mess with the Jews, I talk about it. You mess with, the Jews? No, I'm just joking. I fight back on X, okay? I have no qualms about talking crap about certain people on X. So Meadow Everly said here, these are good points, Zach Peter and Donna Bowling. I thought of you. This whole thing is fake as F. Now, Adrian is another person that posted this, and I wanted to read about it. I mean, I started watching it. This is a clip from a very, very, very popular podcast called The Interview Room. It's a YouTube show called The Interview Room. And they had Chris and Karen. You guys, who are Chris and Karen? I don't know enough about this to know who it is. Chris and Karen, I don't know who they are, but I love them now. We're on the show. and were asked about everything that's going on with the interview and just like weird stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can't, these are smart people, doctors and investigators and, homicide detectives and stuff. You have to know when you watch this that there is something shady going on. And if you want to be in some sort of dreamland bubble that you don't believe shady stuff is happening with Savannah Guthrie, I'm jealous of you. But I'm going to play for you this clip. It's about 4 minutes, and we're going to listen to it together. And it's genius.
You have the daughter of a missing 84-year-old woman who is speaking for the family. And there was a whole bunch of pre-interview prep that took place before they got on that set. And somebody said, action. Okay. To me, it felt like a total, it almost felt like coming down the driveway. And I know people are going to hammer me, but you know what? I'm a straight shooter. I'm not going to lie, pretend, or anything like that. From my observation, when I saw them walking down the driveway, all the scrutiny that certain members of that family were under, and then they put a note where the first thing the journalists were going to do were run to that note when the family turns and runs back, and flies back to New York. And within 15 minutes, there were tweets all over the world about what's inside that note. Now, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, and I haven't fallen off a turnip truck either.
What about Coconut Tree?
Okay. That was totally staged.
He's talking about the time that we saw Savannah and Tommaso, who's now Tommy. He's been rebranded as Tommy, and Annie holding hands. Annie's cry. And why they needed to do this in front of the press and go to a makeshift flower bed in front of Mom's house when they knew the press was still there, and then leave that note. He's not wrong. I'm not wrong. And if you think that we're being crazy to look into this, you have the blinders on, because this is what you do when you look into investigations. You're saying, this feels weird. This feels weird.
100%, in my opinion. The flowers, the walk, the note, holding each other.
And here's a homicide detective on the bottom right, nodding his head so hard that his neck is going to fall off.
Okay. And now you take that to Act 2, where you're sitting on the couch in New York City at NBC Studios, and you have this journalist, allegedly.
I don't think Hoda's a real journalist.
They're talking about how Hoda didn't do a good job.
Throwing these and all this, and I'm going, am I missing something here? And what was the takeaway of the whole interview? The takeaway was, my whole family is a solid unit. I'm not saying that Savannah in any way, shape, or form has anything to do with this. She's in New York City. She wasn't there. But I want to hear from Annie.
Hello.
I want to hear Annie say, when I got over to the house that morning and we saw the doors propped open, and I surmised that, when we saw the blood, you heard my sister tell you about the blood on the porch on Dateline. You heard my sister tell you about the pajamas, and you heard my brother tell my sister, sweetie, this could be because of you. Okay? And my husband and I, A, B, C, and D. Okay? I don't want to hear from the police and the investigators that they impounded their car, searched their house multiple times, came out of the house with bags, went back at 10 o'clock at night to take photographs and probably run an alternate light source and or luminol in the house. I want to hear from them as to why that occurred. And also the UFED, they downloaded their phones. And then I also want to hear from this knucklehead in California that texted him, did you get the Bitcoin?
Mm-hmm.
The brother-in-law. Just out of curiosity, this is the interview I would have loved to hear from NBC. Tommaso, did it surprise you got a text message about Bitcoin request? I mean, am I off base here from your perspective, from an investigative, would we not all ask these questions behind the scenes?
Of course you would.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And maybe
For
not as
sure.
courteously.
When it walks like a duck, it's a duck. Quack, 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 quack. Nothing about this case has made sense. And the way it's being handled doesn't make sense. And the way Savannah is going about life doesn't make sense. And Molly Dare, my girl Molly, posted an unpopular Savannah opinion, she called it, on Friday on Instagram or Thursday, where she basically said, you know, all those questions that we have, like, why aren't you doing anything to release the pressure of everyone thinking it's your family? She talks about how unbearable it is that people can suspect her family. But then you're not giving us anything for us not to suspect your family. Just take take Nanos's word for it. Well, Nanos's word is as good as a dog's word. Like, no, not even. A dog's word may be better. Nanos is not someone that we can rely on, you guys. Whatever the sheriff says, we have to get a second opinion because he's a proven liar. He's a proven shady guy. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on over there. But the question, the serious and real question here is why, when Molly posted this unpopular opinion, listen to this comment that she got. Actually, I can share it with you guys. This is on her TikTok about a Savannah Guthrie unpopular opinion. And this is the comment. And if you guys, this is what I'm saying is so weird about it. It says, the first comment says, Bree says, you're not owed anyone from anyone in that family. You don't need any of that information. They're going through the worst time in their lives and you all treat it like entertainment. And Desert Chic, who I love now, says, ma'am, I live in Tucson and Savannah is asking us to search for her mother and go through hours of doorbell camera footage to see if we have caught anything. Yet I haven't seen Savannah or her family organize any type of search, not putting out any flyers, not talking to any neighbors, not bringing in dogs, not bringing in drones. Of all the money and resources she had, you would think she would be putting together the best. Honestly, I have put more effort into finding my lost dog than the Guthrie family has in searching for their own mother. Okay? Period. That, my friends, is the problem. Is that you are devastated, Savannah, and I can feel it and I see it and I think that's real. That's not how you deal with missing people. Now, Brian Ensign today on his show was talking to another FBI, a retired FBI agent, and he was saying about the prop doors in the back. So none of that makes sense. Now, you know it's weird when Brian Ensign starts to talk to people who also are saying none of that makes sense, because Brian Ensign is the biggest believer of, or like lack of conspiracy theory type of journalist. But he's saying, I don't understand the prop doors. Why are you propping doors up in the back? The only reason to prop a door open is because you need help. You need the doors open so that you can have two hands that you're using to do something. But if they're carrying her out in the back, why is there blood in the front? Also, why did he go to the front to try to remove the camera if all you need is to enter the back and there's no forced entry? What the hell, you guys? We're not stupid. So I will continue to think that this is all shady as F until we're getting some real answers. I hope that something soon breaks. But if they just say, like, never figured it out, we all know. We all know. That's all I'm saying about that. Any last, oh my God. Okay. Just to make us laugh at the end of today's episode, I saw a thread, and you know I hate threads. Oh my God, do I hate threads. They hate me over on threads. I saw a thread that cracked me up to an extent that, like, I was literally having to get a diaper on. I was peeing. It is so funny. I hope you guys think this is funny too. I can't even explain to you. I just want you guys, I want to read through this thread with you because it's so funny. Now, don't get offended, okay? Don't get offended. This person who says that Hangry Hufflepuff says, Being fat in the 2000s was not for the weak. Why the F do I look like my mom's law partner instead of a 10-year-old? Call Dupre and Dupre law firm. So this is a picture of a 10-year-old and her mom. And she is saying, why do I look like this? In the 2000s, like they did not work it out for the chubby girls, right? She posted this about herself. When I tell you it has 115,000 likes because the thread comments are so good, you have to keep watching this. So first, she pinned her own comment, says, I can't even believe this. Like, I didn't even know it was posted on Threads. I posted on Facebook. It must have automatically posted here. She goes, I hate that we had to be traumatized to get here, but I'm glad we can all laugh through it together. Watch some of these posts. This girl goes, I was 10 looking like a single mother who works 2 jobs, who loves her kid and never stops. 10 years old. 10 years old, you guys, I'm dying. I was 10. Look at his outfit. This says, my dad and I going to my 8th grade confirmation for church. Another Catherine's pantsuit. I look like his wife. This guy goes 13 years old and I look like a rookie cop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1997. She goes, so I found my people. This was 8th grade. Whose corporate auntie is this? This girl says, my mom had this tweed set made for me to wear to my piano recital when I was 12. I look like I'm about to take the oath of office. This one killed me. I was 13 looking like my big brother's mama. We're 8 years apart. She's younger than him. Oh my God. This one, 12, and I look like I'm ready to sell you a used car or a black market rickrack. So I was 12 and I looked like I could buy cigarettes from my peers. I was often asked to. This girl, I'm 12. Why do I look like a recent single divorcee at my first mixer? This one says, this is probably 1990 and I'm 11, looking like I got called in late for my secretarial job because I had to stop and get a new pair of legs control top pantyhose because I got to run. Or maybe it was a shoulder pad mishap. Oh my God, I died. This one goes, apparently I taught pottery at the local community college. Oh my God. Okay, one more. As a recently divorced 7-year-old, I really wanted Billy to know what he just walked out on as I started my new career in real estate. I can't. 12 years old. You guys, okay, we have to end on this one. 5th grade, literally 10 years old. It's the best thread of my life, honestly, and it just keeps going, you guys. It's the best. Oh my God, I can't. It's so good. Grade 8, my hair was wider than my mother's entire torso. Okay, I have to be done. I could do this all day. That was so funny. Oh my God, you guys. We all need to just pee our pants laughing every once in a while. These are the things that I always find when I'm laying in bed and Lance is sleeping. And I'm like, he's like, what's wrong? It's like, earthquake. It's me laughing. Oh my gosh, I am hysterical at that. Yeah, we have to find, if you guys ever find unhinged threads or like Instagram posts like that, send them to me. We can feature them at the end of the episodes to get a good laugh. Oh my God, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, subscribing. Go to Patreon so that we can join. You can join the live in a few hours where we get really into all the gossip. Love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.